That's not reality.
All our stuff at work is touchscreen.
Is there anything down there?
No. You get a lot of tartar sauce, Bob.
I brought my Loch-Nar.
Oh.
You can't tell it's green because the light's too bright.
I see it. I see the green hue to it, yeah.
It's the Queen's glowing sphere, you fool. Good old heavy metal.
None.
Oh, you check the
There you
I
go.
go around with my door hanging out.
So many great lines.
One of those films I can talk through, yeah.
Jimmy.
Gabe, there's soda downstairs, and obviously there's milk and water up here, so...
Back in the 80s, when the Houses were still hanging out with me and the gang, they did a re-showing of Heavy Metal in St. Louis.
Pick whichever, yeah.
And went to it. It was up in the Galleria, I think, and they had a bar. So we're waiting for the movie to start, and Harold's like, I'm going to go get some drinks. Well, you couldn't bring him into the theater. So Harold has an armful of fucking drinks, and he chugged them all because he couldn't bring them into the theater. And here he comes stumbling down the aisle. Like, you motherfucker, you drank all the drinks. But he paid for them, so.
Yeah, couldn't bitch too long.
But it was like 4 7 and 7. It was like, oh my God, yeah, he was kind of tottering by the time he got to the seat. Like, what the hell, man? But then there's a theater here nearby here where you can go and eat and drink and smoke while watching a movie. I don't know how they get away with that. And it's like dollar movies. It's like movies that have been out for 6 months already.
Did you capture this mythical beast from?
Yes.
Urban Grouping a frequent proprietor of these movies?
What's that, Clark?
Is Urban Grouping a frequent proprietor of these movies?
I can't. What's the first thing you said?
Urban Grouping.
What? I don't understand what you're saying. Urban Reuben is what I heard.
Yeah, Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman.
I beat the dead.
Urban Reuben. Is there a difference from a country Reuben? I mean, what's in it?
Definitely. Well, anyway, here we are with episode 66, I think. No, 67.
Urban Reuben.
Wasn't he a coach for the... Oh,
Don't start.
don't start. Yeah, episode 67. All right. Now I guess I'll text Brad and see where he's run off to.
He popped in, but he said he had to get off for a minute.
Well, that's none of our business.
You know. A couple of days ago, work, one of the new employees was like, "How do you turn this on?" It was one of the other a newer computer. How do you turn this on? And somebody was like, "Well, give it a kiss." That's not funny.
All right, we're on
But how can you have purple
vibrates.
hair and nose ring and not have a sense of humor? I don't get it. You're already funny looking. Why not just go all the way? Yep, that's the old man coming out there. I don't care if you got purple hair or nose ring. It makes no difference.
All right. Captions are always fun on the videos because the captions don't always say what the word is correctly, so you hear some funny stuff.
See, that's my job, Cobb. I fix that kind of stuff in real time. That's what I do. Because we just had automated captions. If you hear some people's accents, oh my God. I mean, little lady be saying something to come up, fuck you. And it's like, no!
Yeah, that's probably not right.
Or penis is a classic. A lot of things will come up penis. It's like, why? Who programmed this?
Oh, it spells my name with 2 B's. Haha, so whoever's doing this is an idiot.
It's a computer.
Well, the computer's an idiot then.
Because if that is being overseen by a human being, then they're being paid way too much for what they do.
it puts in stars for fuck. There's 4, so each letter it's like. Dut, 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 dut.
Oh no, on our system it will come up fuck, shit, any kind of word you want to say, except hell. I'll say hell and it won't come up. It's like, what, of all words not to use?
That's pretty great.
Or damn, it's spelled damn, D-A-M. Like, no. Think that kind of damn. Yeah, the computer gets creative sometimes. It also likes to make up words. If you say like I, it'll come up U-M-I. That's Brad!
Okay, there he is.
God, I'm hot today. Ooh.
So let's see. Let's see if I can recall where we ended up last time. I recall where we ended up. You guys were tooling around the Abbey, Black Rock Abbey to be more precise, and you were deciding what you wanted to do, and a couple characters decided they had business to take care of, and after a few choice words, Guy left. I'm hearing a bad feedback from somebody. And it is gone now, so thank you to whoever muted. So Guy left. Before he left, Pykel the dwarf gave him some scribbled notes on some parchment stating that he would be welcome to visit the dwarves back near White Plume Mountain. His clan specifically, if he's ever in that area. Let's
I thought
see.
it was like a little big scratch-off ticket.
And then there was a couple of spells cast. One of them, Finessa, cast a spell that moved energy from one thing to another, and she used it to move whatever magical energies were in Finessa's sacred bundle into her own. And that happened, and Bart cast a spell, a very powerful spell, and it gave him a vision of something specific that he wanted to know, and it showed what appeared to be the backstory of Cryos, the Titan of the constellations. Brad has his hand up.
I wanted to do an advanced illusion later on to show those guys what night vision was, so everybody's on the same page.
Well, we'll get to that. And the vision showed Cryos as a youngster, and Cryos interacting with a portal that they should remember from encountering it on their journey to a final vision of the man saying he would not go back. The vision may have had more detail to it, but that is up to the players to use that as they see fit. The Shadrach spent some time out in the woods by himself. And then Boris said his goodbyes as he was wanting to go and see if his sister was truly returned to their home. And we are left with Bart, Michael, Finessa, and Shadrach still at the monastery. And when we left off, Shadrach and Finessa were having a conversation about where they wanted to go, and that is where we will pick up after. If anyone has any edits or additions or corrections to the recap. Daryl's got his hand up.
Is it evening? Am I remembering correctly? It was getting dark when Shadrach came into the grove.
It was almost dinner time. Bart was hungry, and that's when he finally came out of his secure shelter and revealed the vision to everyone. So dinner usually takes place around midday, and so that is up for you guys to take part in or not. And then
I thought, I could have swore because you asked me if I had infravision. If I saw Shadrach coming toward me, I'm getting nuts. My bad. So it's
I think that was the previous night where that's what I kind of remember is the previous night
I remember leaving off with Boris walking away from Shadrach. He had given him the sculpture.
And Shad flew off into the woods as an owl. That's the last thing Shadrach did.
Okay.
Screeching,
Well,
flew off.
that's fine. So it's up for you guys to decide how you'd like to proceed, and I guess if you're not all there, then we'll go with whoever is there, which would be Michael and Bart. Daryl's got his hand up.
Finessa approaches Michael. Do you have any of that clay that you could spare? About a pound or so? Or were you going to use it all for your project?
Apparently Clark isn't there.
Yeah. Or he's on mute and doesn't realize it. Okay, so Bart, tell me about this vision, says Finessa.
When everybody gets together, I guess I'm going to do an advance solution, show everybody what my vision was completely.
I think I got all that. You're difficult to hear.
Yeah, sorry. I got air conditioning
That's all right.
in the background.
But yeah, okay. We'll wait till everybody's together. I guess I will go speak with the abbot. And I'm going to tell him what we've encountered, if he'll see me.
Where is it, buddy?
Hmm?
I was like, where is it, buddy?
I'm not sure. I thought Michael was here a moment ago.
The last thing that he did, I remember, is he was like, I don't feel well, I'm going to go lay down.
Okay.
Because he cut out early because his wife was back in town.
That's right.
Go ahead, Jason.
Oh, okay, I thought it was moving. Shad is going to cast a spell. It's not a big deal. But in his little nest that he made of plant growth, he's going to cast Shape Wood. And it says I can do 9 cubic feet plus 1 cubic foot per level, so I can do 18 cubic feet. I am going to shape a 18 cubic foot crow sculpture out of the woods, like basically right in the middle of my nest. There's a huge crow / raven sculpture, and it's crude, but it's obvious what it is. So, and it says it's uncommon for druids, so I figure I can cast it.
Uncommon for
I'll
druids?
break dirt permanently, or until the wood rots. So,
What, not that it matters as far as what you're doing, but I'm trying to visualize, like, is this thing made out of like a solid piece of wood, or is it like a bunch of things that come together to form like a bunch of twisted things, like a hedgerow that's been shaved with a trimmer into a shape? Or I guess I'm just wondering what it looks like, that's all.
Bonsai.
It's a solid piece of wood.
Solid
It's a
piece of
singular
wood.
piece of wood.
So
yeah.
does it take a living tree and destroy it and turn it into something else?
It says a appropriate sized piece of wood. So, the largest piece of wood I can find that is not a living tree, which includes a stump, I can turn a stump into the sculpture. I'll make a sculpture. It doesn't have to be 18 cubic feet, but I'm trying to make it man-sized.
Well, having been in forests, I can tell you that there are some pretty big trees that just fall over because they get old. So I would say you can find a large downed tree to do your spell with. That you just have to do a little bit of looking around, and it's like, oh, okay, there it is. That's just the way forests work.
I will create what is basically not 18 cubic feet. I'll make a man-sized sculpture of a crow. The wings are not spread out. They're just, tucked in like it's just standing there. So, and that's at the center of my nest that I made.
All right, cool. I can dig that. And with that, you create this spot that if someone was to come across it, they would be wondering what it meant.
Also, remember, it's in the middle of the thicket where they have to, remember I created the plant thing,
Yes.
the igloo. So it's in the middle of that.
I'm sure that there's plenty of mice that will freak out when they see it, but other than that, probably, unless they want to expand or somebody wants to build something there, it's highly unlikely. So, yeah, that's what you've done. You've created this looky-loo sanctuary. Okay. So, if anyone else wants to do anything, otherwise we'll just skip ahead. Go ahead, Daryl.
Bart, would you care to join me in speaking with the abbot, or do you have other things to attend to?
I can go with you.
I thought maybe our story of our adventure might suit his fancy.
Sure.
Alright, I'm gonna head to whoever, he said the door was always open to me, but since I'm bringing a guest, I'm gonna go to the fellow in the temple and request an audience with the proctor.
As you and Bart start to head towards the temple, you see Pykel returning, cinching up his belt.
There you are. Oh, Bart, if you have any weapons, you might want to put them in a secure place,
I'm not carrying no weapons right now.
or you'll receive shocking jolts from the glyphs.
I know.
Okay. Hey, Pykel, we're going to go talk to the abbot. Would you care to join us?
Sure. He says, well, looking like he's 10 pounds lighter.
Are you feeling better?
Yeah, I had to lay the dog out. Yeah.
Oh. I thought I would share our story of our adventure with him. He used to adventure, and I know that he likes those tales, but we shall see. I also need his counsel, but that's a personal matter.
Okay, so you head over to the temple and you seek out and I found the information with all their names.
I know there was Proctor and there's Hyrule Monk.
Not here.
Yeah, the Hyrule Monk kind of runs the temple. And it was, oh man, I'm trying to think of the library guy. I know it.
It's the library guy.
Son of a bitch. I hate when I can't think of something that I know.
Just like the Luminary. That sounds like a name for a library.
I like that.
Luminary. Grand Illuminary.
Well, just
That's
wait.
a real fancy light.
Just wait till you meet the Jib Jab.
Dude.
Then you'll be.
Saccharist. The saccharist is the guy in the library, I think.
Well, whatever his name is, that's fine. I just saw this here the other day. It's like, oh, you motherfucker. Had it all written down. Anyway, after going through the proper channels, you are granted an audience with Abbot Patrick.
Good morning, Abbot Patrick. Thank you for seeing us.
We
I wondered.
we missed you at dinner.
Well, I was seeing to my friends, getting things settled in. I've been away for a while. I hope to regale you with what we've seen and pick your brain on if you're aware of any of the challenges or things we've discovered that maybe you could shed some light on things,
Here it
or
is.
we could
Okay.
inform you.
So the sacrist, his name is Naral.
Oh.
Okay, so
And he's in charge of the library, is that correct, or is...
I'm going to get you some answers here. The sacrist, who's in charge of everything holy, including books and relics, but those are the holy books and relics.
Okay.
And then the librarian is Asal, and he manages the books of the monastery that are not ecclesiastical in nature. And then
Can you repeat his name, please?
Asal, Aesol.
You asshole.
Thank you.
He's a real one.
Yeah.
And then there's a Hira monk, and his name is Gaddy.
Was it Gad?
Gaddy, and he is
In charge of the temple.
yes,
That I did write down before, but I didn't have the name.
he is a monk who is also an ordained priest. And then the abbey, of course, and then the prior is a monastic superior. And if I had his name, I don't know what it is. So let's just put prior here, and he will be his name will be Jemonn, Jemonn.
I sent you a message there, Pop, just in case.
And he was before the other guy?
Yeah, the prior is second to
The one that...
second in command, basically. Okay. And then there's others we can talk about
Yeah.
if needed. Okay. So, for instance,
We've seen quite a few things.
the book that had Kolam in it, that's something that the sacrist would be in charge of, but the librarian would not. So yeah, and all of the canon, if you would, the holy scriptures or whatever, those are watched over by the sacrist. And most likely he would also be the kind of guy that would be in charge of getting the monks to make copies and illuminated manuscripts of the holy writings, as monks will do, which is another thing that
Indeed.
happens here. So anyway, Abic Patrick says, well, make yourself comfortable, and I will listen to what you have to say.
I'll take a seat. We've seen many things, and we traveled to the island of the giants, but I should probably start from the beginning, and I will tell him in brief history of the gnome that we found as we left on our journey for Tila and went to his home. We left there and we encountered bandits, and I soothed their anger, and they let us pass, but they warned us of the dreaded evil cob corn maze that was confusion and chaos, and we somehow made it through. Went to Tila, talked to the harbor master. We made our way to a pirate's den called Donkey Dan, and Pygal and Shadrach lent their mana to me. He had been cursed by a witch, and I used the power of the blend with the aid of my friends to drive the curse from him. And it hung on and hung on, but we were able to do it. And he turned back into a handsome human man who was actually a knight of the realm, is what he said. He said his name was Don Quixote, and he had built his reputation as a pirate and an evil person to keep people away. But when we were talking with him, an army of Achaemenians showed up and took us after some hubbub. They killed all his men, and it turns out that my mother was the head of the witches, and she was the one that had cursed him. But the Achaemenians took us, and we agreed to go and meet. Oh, I left out the giant. We had coins from this giant, so I tell him that. So I'm going through the whole thing. I get to Stallman Clem, and this giant Helios gave Finessa the blessings of Stallman Clem. And in a dream last night, I relived it. It was more of a nightmare, and he said, "You have the blessing of Stallman Clem," and they both looked right at me with like if you've ever seen that. And I'm beginning to think that Helios himself is actually Stallman Clem, but I thought Stallman Clem was a human. Do you know?
That name, it sounds something similar to perhaps Legends, but I don't know.
The Death Cult.
I don't know. We tried to stay away from that when we used to do some business in those islands. They were like the boogeymen of the South Seas. We managed to avoid them, and that name was only spoken in hushed whispers, so I that's all I know.
Well,
He may go back.
he is a threat to the blend, is what my vision had told me, and I didn't realize soon enough that we were in his presence. But after we received his blessing to proceed, we saw Infante on the next island, and he was like a big baby, and then that's when the fight broke out. My mother had me in such a state, and I just was so scared, and I had asked my friends to help me and don't forsake me, and the fight broke out, and they destroyed her, and we left the island shortly after that. I'm paraphrasing, but Finessa is giving details and going on about the story and saying pertinent things, and finally, after the Titans released us, we were back on the ship, and Bart transported us out of there, and now we're back, and we've got to figure out our next move. And you being an adventurer, I thought you might enjoy the tale of the adventure, and find if you have any insight on any of those matters, I look forward to hearing about it.
Well, that is quite a tale. Quite a tale indeed.
I'm so confused. I'm feeling so guilty that my mother had to die, even though I know in my heart that she was an evil being. maybe we can speak more about that subject in private. But if you guys have anything that you want to bring up to the abbot, please do.
I was asking how far back these boogeymen or the death cult goes back.
They've always been around as far as I know, but
King Varus?
I don't know anything about that.
But whether it's just part of the whole makeup of things.
No, when we ran around in those islands, we tended to stay away from the bigger ones because we knew there was going to be issues there. There's lots of islands to explore and search for things. There was a lot of dealing and double dealing and stealing things back. I remember us doing a lot of that. And frankly, it's a wonder that we didn't all die at some point just through the sheer amount of danger that we experienced on the high seas. But thank the blend, most of us made it out alive. Unfortunately, those few of us that didn't make it, at least of my close friends, we didn't learn until it was too late that you don't throw the dead overboard in those seas with the death cult. So, but since all of you made it, then it shouldn't be an issue. I'm sure there's some Acaramans that when you told me about the harpy fight that were pushed overboard or what have you, that
For Paco.
Paco, what about, who's Paco?
Remember, it's Guy's companion that perished in the battle and then was given back to us. And then once he died on the boat after popping corn all over us, I think they gave him a burial at sea. That's what Guy said.
Well, as long as you did the burial rites and made sure that his soul and body couldn't be used for evil purposes, I'm sure there won't be an issue.
Shadrach performed those services, if I remember correctly. I think that's what he said.
Well, let's hope that he did it correctly.
Yes, it was a deadly adventure, and it's left me thinking that perhaps I should have never left the monastery in the first place. And my father now is lost, but at least he's alive.
Where did he end up?
Finessa allowed him to leave after he had served his purpose from Don Quixote's compound.
Huh. Well, the way you've made it out, Finessa didn't do anything without making sure that it served her purpose. So the fact that she let him go, obviously, I mean, I shouldn't say obviously, but my mind immediately turns to what was that actually your father? Did she put something with him so he could remove it for later use? Could be any one of 1,000 things.
You are correct. I still have a desire to find him.
So what was the point? What was the point of the giant and the coins?
It's supposed to be, well, you know the story. You did the vision, didn't you, Michael?
Yeah.
About Varus and...
Yeah. Varus, right? How many coins were there? 1,000.
There's a bunch.
I think we start with 1,500 coins. Right, these 50.
200 coins.
What's that?
I have 1,400
And so he created these 1,500 coins with his input
coins, something like that.
to be used as tribute to end the giant dragon war. He was betrayed by.
Clark, you're breaking up. I can't. I don't. You're not clear at all. You're talking half the time, and the other half it just cuts out. So I don't
He was
know.
betrayed. I forget the other guy's name. The guy we're after.
Cryos?
Kryos. He was betrayed by Kryos himself, and those coins never reached these dragons. Kryos wants to become whole again and be I believe he's a titan himself, and to rule over our lands.
Well, my vision, I can tell you, he's a traveler. He's not of this world.
However, I don't think it's good for us.
He gets without his gems for his ring.
Okay.
What I gathered from my vision, anyway.
And where? I'm only asking this because normally whatever you pick up along the way, you could assume that it's valuable to someone. And if these coins were meant to end some type of conflict and they never made it to their final destination, then it's very possible that someone could be looking for those. So just keep that in mind. I mean, I traveled with somebody in the past that tended to give people things just as a way of keeping track of their whereabouts, because he wasn't casting or scrying on a person. He was scrying on an item, and an item is a lot easier to look for than a person for some reason, according to what he said. I don't know why. I just believed him, and it got us out of several dangerous situations. And if you're talking about titans and other things that quite possibly might have powers far beyond mere mortals, then it's very possible that you might be subjecting yourself to being found. I know that, for instance, there was a mage that was a part of our group, and he would cast a spell that would put things in what he used to call an extra dimensional space. And he said that scrying, you had to be extremely powerful to be able to find things. They weren't in the same, I forget what he used to call it. It's where it's there, but it's not there. And there are things that that all they have, they have all the time in the world to constantly search for things, and there's a reason why that the gods are the gods and we are not, because they can do things that we can't. And anyway, it's beyond my comprehension. I started to go to sleep whenever he started talking. So anyway, I don't know what treasures you might have gathered or found along the way. And I'm thinking that you shouldn't leave anything here that you got from somewhere else. This isn't a safe place. And if you think it's safe, that means you're intentionally betting on the lives of all these innocent monks and people that live here, and they are under my protection.
I completely agree with you.
Don't worry, they're eating away quite well.
Anyway, not to pour a cold bucket of water on your fantastic story, I mean, it sounds like you had some highs and lows along it. I'm sure meeting your mother, are you sure it was your mother though? Because that was not the impression that you gave me when you first told me
My
of your
memories of her being
upbringing.
a warm, loving mother were either wrong or that's just the person she used to be. And she is no longer that individual.
As someone that may or may not have children that I don't necessarily know or may not know or send payments to, I can tell you that children view the world as we view the world compared to the gods. We see things differently, we perceive things differently, and so do children. So it is very possible that your memories are what they are because that's a child's worldview. So I wouldn't be too hard on myself if a child thought the best of their parent only to find out that their parent was a terrible person.
My fondest memories were always with my father. Mother was cold, but still, she was my mother and taught me many things, suckled me from birth.
And you have or have not, this is the Dungeon Master asking, revealed what you did with her sacred bundle?
I had not mentioned it. I mentioned that I took it, but just this morning, I will reveal that just this morning I transferred the magics to my own bundle. So yes, I do tell him that.
There is a... Jason, are you wanting to enter the scene? You're on mute. You're on mute.
It's up to you. If you'll allow me to stagger in, I will.
Well, just, you come in and you ask around and people eventually are like, oh yeah, I saw them heading toward the Abbots. So right then there's a knock on the door and the scribe walks over and opens the door and Shadrach's there.
Looking disheveled, but not injured.
There you are.
My lady.
Come in, Shadrach.
I was just regaling the abbot with our adventure.
We need to leave.
Yes, this morning I transferred the magic from her sacred bundle into mine.
Are you
Successful.
concerned at all that you may have fouled the well with poisonous waters.
I don't think so. It gives me the warmth of the person she used to be. I felt her not as a controlling, evil being, but a warm embracing of the person she used to be that I remember flowing from the bundle.
Abbot Patrick.
I remember a merciless hag
Abbot
tortured me.
Patrick looks at Finessa and says, "If that is what you felt, then you must trust your instincts. But I would not be doing my due diligence if I did not warn you that that fits neatly into your story of your mother's attempts to fool and beguile, and perhaps even in death, her power may cause an issue. But that is your,
It is possible.
that is your burden to bear. But I will reiterate what I said previously, and my duty is to this monastery and to these people. And if you would allow the hieromonk Gaddy to perform rituals to determine the, if any, corruption in this sacred bundle, it would certainly put any fears I have to rest, or it will reveal that indeed her machinations continue on after her demise, and that
That would be a welcome relief to know.
I would also request that you decide if you would like to assist, or if
Most certainly.
you would like to remove any appearance of bias in the performing of the ritual. I will leave that up to your wisdom as well.
I didn't catch that last part, Cobb. The bias?
The bias.
Oh.
What I'm saying plainly is there are those, as you know, that have and will never accept you because of your monstrous appearance. I am not that person. But it is a
But I know this.
It is-
Almost step forward and hold her hand.
She reaches out and holds it tightly.
He looks, but the look on his face is one of like, oh, isn't that cute? Like that. And he says, sentiment aside, and looks at Shadrach for a second. There are many facets to your representation of the blend. One of them is overcoming prejudice. Another one is knowing which battles to pick. So as I said, I will leave it up to you. If you choose to fight that battle, then just be aware that is a possibility. And I would love to be wrong. I would love for everyone that ever sees you to see past your face and your body and your height and just see what's on the inside. But
As the blend would have it.
in the world that we live in, that would call for an outright removal of free will and things that people just cannot control. And that is even worse, in my opinion. So let people feel as they want. You can care or not how they feel, but that's not going to stop them. And I would say, you pick which battles you want to fight. I would very seriously doubt that Gaddy would care either way if you were there or not, honestly. I don't. He's never come off to
I
me.
wish to, at very least, be present.
I would, maybe you could work that out with him.
I'll have to do that.
Yes. Not to mention, as someone who is not touched with the manna from heaven, I have an excuse not to take part. So that's why Gaddy is so valuable. Brad has his hand up.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Evan if it'd be okay if I cast the illusion spell in here, so he can see my vision as well, see what he makes of it.
Sure. Just give me a warning before you cast it. I'd like to finish up with Sister here before we get distracted with your magic. So Finessa, there you go. I'm giving you quite a bit of autonomy on this.
So I should see Gaddy, or will you arrange a meeting?
I think that Gaddy has been interestingly reclusive as of late, and considering that you have told me of this fantastic story and voyage and all of the entities involved, it would not surprise me if his reclusiveness is somehow related. And I think you and your friends should go and talk to him. He see what you can find out. He's been tight-lipped.
He's been very helpful in the past.
Well, as you know, he's the one we call in when we can't solve anyone's issues with our holistic approach with herbs and salves and things that Skell provides. I mean, if Gaddy wanted to, he could move on from this and establish his own temple. We're certainly grateful that he hasn't. I have never asked him why. I don't even want to bring up the subject because I don't know who would replace him. I'm guessing you would be called to that task, but he's much more experienced.
I have visions of opening my own temple as well, and that's another thing that I would need to ask you about.
Well, I've never opened my own temple. I got this job just because I was in the right place at the right time, and I'm very faithful. So apparently, this place needed a little change. So as we remember what went on here before I showed up. So
Well, perhaps Gaddy can assist me in that as well.
Shadrach, did you want to say something, or is this Jason?
This is Shadrach leaning over and whispering to Finessa, "Give me that wretched bundle. I'll destroy it. Give it to me. I'll destroy it."
Calm down. The magic has been removed. It's inert.
So you say.
Well, unless anyone else has anything they'd like to say about your adventure, or perhaps what you're thinking about doing in the near future or long-term plans, I say we go with the magic show here. Prince, please tell us where to look and if we need to be prepared for anything.
Still be an illusion what I seen, so I'm gonna do that over here. I take a bit of fleece, several grains of sand, and I begin casting advanced illusion. Casting time takes 1 round. And it looks like a 40-foot cube. So,
Chad will take a title. Madness.
What?
So this room is, I don't think it's, well,
It was bigger and monstrous in the room.
it's like 20 by 20, I think.
It doesn't have to be that big. I'll make it fit in the room.
Okay.
Projected on the tapestry.
Yeah.
And what is this show? What is this show?
It gives, just for like the force spell,
Madness.
Calm down.
Similar to programs for illusion spell.
No, I'm asking you what is the illusion show? What does everybody see?
Oh, I don't remember the vision top. Myself. But I
The
just
vision.
him and his years, all the way through what I seen in the vision.
Madness.
Who's that? Finessa doesn't recognize the man.
I was a kid.
Who is that, Shadrach?
The man from Keela.
That hired you initially?
Growl. This is madness.
He's Cryos?
Help. You see it. He has dealings with the Dark Elves. Do you not know?
Who?
The man.
Cryos? He's one and the same? How can he be Cryos? What does he mean he's not going back?
My eyes.
Where you was a kid? Playing in the palace?
The worms.
Somebody put Shadrach outside.
Let's go find a tree, green fella.
But,
Is somebody grabbing Shadrach?
do you go through your job? Because I can't remember.
Finessa just still has a hold of his hand.
It's madness. It's madness.
Alright. I guess
It's a vision.
the man was talking to
The vision
Cryo.
is false.
Hold on a second. Let me try an experiment here. Let me try an experiment.
I think it's Kraus and Dad or something, man.
I shall return momentarily.
The vision is false.
Alright, well, hey, guy. Okay, so. The name is Patrick.
You are the abbot of this monastery, and I must
Trying to find it.
When Boris finishes his carving, then he will go and lay down. So he screams and wails for Chad. Boris Danvers, I can have money for Paco and his family. Thank goodness he had a high number.
I will never stop trying to see everything.
Okay, we're close here.
And
Yeah.
I will find what your eyes glaze over and then turn white. And an unknown wind whips up, causing your hair to blow.
Can you guys hear that?
Light
Yeah.
flash. And then everything goes dark. First, before you, you see a child. Child with long hair, curly at the ends. Fine features for a child. A sharp nose, square jaw. Wearing a white cloth that wraps over one shoulder and extends down across both sides of his body, held closed by a golden rope tied at the waist. A short, pointy sword hanging at its side, looking similar to that of the Acaraman's gladius. Sandals with leather tied up the calves. Looking up at a man. Another man, possibly beautiful, possibly handsome. The man that he is looking at has something in his hand, and the child says, "But Father, what would be the point of having the power of the heavens if you could do whatever you wanted? There would be no victories because there is no risk." And the father said, "That is wise, my son. Without risk, there are no victories. The question is, to achieve victory, are you willing to risk the wrath of your brothers and sisters? Is that the risk that you would like to take?" And he says, I just like looking at the stars. I don't want more." He says, if you could see the stars all at once, you would see the power of the heavens and the crystal spheres, and you would see an untold number of other worlds and other realities. This is the power of the heavens. The crystal spheres, each one at your beck and call, and you can travel to each one through the astral sea. Does that sound like something you would like to do, son? And the boy says, yes. I want to go to the crystal spheres in the sky, travel upon the astral sea to other worlds. I wish to learn everything that's out there. This place only offers temporary pleasure, but eternal pain. So then take this ring, and with it you will be able to control the heavens and gain the infinite knowledge of the cosmos. But be careful. There will be those that will attempt to take it from you. Guard this with your life.
he does.
Then your vision changes to a crippled, decayed, oil-covered, pus-oozing giant with slaves all around him, sitting on a throne of bones.
I've seen this.
With a ring missing its gem on its right hand. And it looks right at you and says, I will never stop trying to see everything. And I will find what is mine. And I will destroy any chance for the mother of dragons to have another child.
The mother
And
of
lastly, the vision changes
dragons.
one more time, and you see a golden tree with a golden sun behind it, and standing in front of it is the most beautiful elf that you've ever seen. And you think it's Corella Lorethian, but it can't be, because the legends say to see the high elf in all his glory would break the spirit and send you to Armandor prematurely, because you would wish to join him, and you would be committing elven suicide, which is against your culture, ingrained so deep that any elf that does commit suicide is actually barred from entering the eternal heavens that the elves have. And he says, you can pick only one of two ways. You must heal him or you must destroy him.
I can do neither.
And then lastly, your vision turns to a city by the sea, a bustling seaport. And your vision zooms in closer into the middle of the city, into a very opulent brown house with a second story and a woman who you can see right through standing on a balcony in a flowing dress. And there are many, many more as your vision moves into the house, as if the house is filled with ghosts. And sitting on a chair, looking at a skeleton inside of another skeleton, a man looks at you and says, I'm not going back. And your vision ends.
A wondrous vision. So much to take in. Thank you for sharing that with us, Bart.
What have you done? What have you done? Now they know! You've shown them! You haven't shown us anything, you've shown them everything!
Avic Patrick's like, calm down, Shadrach. What are you talking about? Are you saying we should not have seen that?
No, I think he's saying that now Cryos knows.
That we know, that we know, that he knows, that we know.
Shadrach gives the dirtiest look he's got right at Bart.
You what?
Now they know everything, you
You
fool!
don't know
Avic
I
Patrick.
can't hear you, Brent.
Avic Patrick's like, hey, what I was talking about earlier about them like looking for things or whatever. I mean, that's not. No, normally, I wouldn't say it's instantaneous. They still got to put in the work, and unless they were looking at this exact moment, I don't see how they could. I mean,
And you haven't revealed the stone in any way. We're not even close to it.
I was speaking.
Calm down, Shadrach.
Don't even speak of
I
it.
asked my gods for help, not yours. Not theirs.
Gods.
The elven gods are powerful.
You must leave. I must protect the egg. You must leave.
Patrick says, that was the thing you asked me about bringing here, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh boy.
And I'm glad that Shadrach made the decision to leave it where it was. The Aslorian circle has protected it for this long. Now it's hidden, as well as protected.
We hope.
But I can see why you wish to go there.
Having Patrick flippantly goes, yes, you can lead him right to it.
Yeah.
And you would notice, Finessa, that Chad grips your hand very tightly when he says that.
And then he goes, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. This is why
a distinct possibility.
This is
though.
why I got shipped off to this lonely little out of the way place. I apologize. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I apologize to you, your ancestors, the circle. Hell, I'll apologize to the egg if it makes a difference. I know it doesn't. So
We know you mean well, Abbott.
anyway,
Sometimes just talking about these things bring to light more information.
What I gather from that, we need to go back to the island and actually have a fucking meeting with them.
Go back where?
Go back and finish what we started.
Finish what we started.
What did we start, old friend?
you
I
go ahead.
will not be party to healing Cryos.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't go to Ewing either.
And
Patrick,
I cannot be party to killing Cryos.
Patrick says, "How come you would be against healing him? Just hear me out. Relax. Unfurl your nose, Finessa.
Snort, she snorts.
Just let's have a thought experiment. I'm not holding you to anything. Let's just play it out, and I want to hear your reasoning. Why a sister of a house of healing would choose not to possibly save the world by healing the threat to that world. And go.
Because he could always.
Wow, Finessa,
Healing the world?
Vanessa, you just threw your voice over to the
would
prince.
not. He is an evil giant that seeks power over the universe, over the astral mycelia, and the entirety of everything. And he is evil.
He's been in one realm
He is-
so long.
But didn't you just
He's
see
not
the
come
vision?
to me.
Was that vision accurate, or are we to dismiss that?
I would say it's accurate. I'd say if we heal him, he'll move on.
It doesn't sound like he was really all that bad after trying to look at everything and looking too
He's
far.
sick because he stayed in one realm too long. He's visited one crystal sphere for too long.
I'm having a real hard time hearing you, Brad. Has he stayed where for too long?
He's been in one crystal sphere for too long.
Sphere, okay.
Evan Patrick says, "All right, hold on a second. I don't know what a crystal sphere is. Can
Well,
somebody?"
yeah.
You didn't see the vision?
I did, but what? That doesn't say what it is. It just says it's another place. So I mean, there's lots of other places.
Right?
Are we
In
talking?
the astral sphere of the astral plane.
Do we go to checks and say we're in a different crystal sphere, or I mean?
I think it represents the cosmos and the stars overhead, Abbott.
It's another.
I don't-
Each one of those. little dots in the sky you see is a different crystal sphere.
Okay. Well, I've heard them called many things. I guess that we might as well throw that on the list of things that people think it might be. I've heard
That's
that
what it sounded like.
I've heard that they're the lights of the gods, and as they peek down upon us, they open little holes in the sky, and that's them looking at us. I've also heard that those are our loved ones that look at us at night because the sunlight keeps them at bay. I've also heard that there's a fire that constantly burns around Skell, and that the light is the fire that peeks through when it's dark out. I mean,
I've always believed they were the home of the gods as well.
Large balls of gas and the big bluish black.
This is the first I've heard of it myself, but I keep an open mind. It seems like
I know of the natural connections.
hold on, one at a time, Brad. Go.
I find that he can travel from place to place, and he's been stuck in one place for too long. That's why he's sick.
That's what.
Me and him, we might have some leverage to getting the hell out of here.
That's okay. I did not pick up on that particular angle from your vision, but okay, it wasn't my vision; it was yours. I'll keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. Yes, Shadrach.
Stars are the eyes of the gods, as Skell is an eye of the gods. All things are revealed in the universe, the blanket of night, and there the truth lies.
Abic Patrick goes,
Best.
okay. Anybody else?
I would not be party to healing him, because if I do it now, that means my mother died for nothing.
I can see
That was her goal,
Like,
and we defeated her to avoid it.
you with him.
Do you think? Well, did she admit that was her goal, or that's what you found out after you killed her?
I think that's what she had in mind. She said she wanted me to be the Caesar's concubine, and I didn't like that idea at all.
Well, did you tell her that you have taken a vow and that that's just not possible?
I told her I wanted no part of it, and I was unaware that this religion had any sort of vow of celibacy, if that's what you
This
mean.
religion doesn't necessarily, but the monastic orders do. We try to remove any distractions from our contemplative life. And so
I see.
that is a thing that brings distractions. Someone who might be married could inform you of such ways that being in that type of relationship can cause misunderstandings.
Finessa would have known that.
Hurt-
That was Daryl
hurt
saying to
feelings.
the DM. Finessa would have known it about the religion. I just didn't remember ever hearing about it.
Okay. So
So I would like to start a new temple in the location where the Deepwater Fort was. I mentioned that earlier to you, so I need to start, with your permission, I'm going to start recruiting individuals that I think would be helpful to me from those here at the monastery.
well, everyone that's here at the monastery is here on, I don't want to use this term, but on order by the higher ups, and you would not be allowed to recruit anyone. Daryl has his hand up.
Daryl to the DM about followers of strongholds on the sheet. The followers are received at 7th level. So I thought I would play it out as me speaking to the crowd and trying to find people that are.
I may
but
have.
In game, I'm asking his permission to recruit people because I don't. That was the best I could do at the angle of the character.
I may have misremembered the level requirements.
7th. And I'm 8th. Now that I'm back in a civilized monastic area of the blend.
Here in the player's handbook it says, upon reaching 8th level, the cleric automatically attracts a fanatically loyal group of believers, provided the character has established a place of worship of significant size. The cleric can build this place of worship at any time during their career, but does not attract believers until 8th. These followers are normal warriors, 0-level soldiers, ready to fight for the cleric's cause. The cleric attacks 20.
I'm going by what's on my printed out sheet. That's all.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just refamiliarizing myself with the concept.
It says 7, and it says it consists of 3 3rd-level priests, 6 1st-level of the same priesthood, plus 30 normal men and women, all of whom must have a healing non-weapon proficiency, who act as surgeons and nurses. The priest may take the following on adventures: 2 priests, one of whom may be 3rd level, and 2 normal men and women. The priesthood will pay for half the cost of stronghold construction. The stronghold must act as a hospital for the nearest community and may turn away no patient who has suffered a life-threatening injury or disease. It's in the, I'm guessing it's from the Designing Faiths. That's what everything else refers to on the sheet.
Excellent.
So I was just trying to play it out as her beginning her journey to establishing a stronghold and maybe getting some people here to rally with her to do this. Just so you as the GM know my goal and what I'm trying to achieve. And that was the only way I knew to approach it, is asking his permission to proceed.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't have an issue with doing what it says. I just was unfamiliar with everything that it said. So,
right.
Okay. Okay. So, he says, well, I don't really know how that works. So I would suggest that perhaps a trip into the city to speak with the praetor may yield the proper channels and protocol to achieving.
Oh, yes, yes. It's so far to Chila. But the temple there is beautiful. Perhaps I could host a sermon in the main temple at some time and speak to the masses.
I think that would be great. And then I'd like you to make a charisma
And then-
check.
She starts to get a big grin. 20!
Uh-oh, explode.
Oh, this is a charisma?
Yep,
26 plus 6 is 20,
32.
32.
Okay.
32.
He
That's
says,
a damn good roll for her.
yes. And he says, you know what? That's an excellent idea. I think, considering that you will need to work on, and I'm going to say this bluntly, but with love, your people skills and your appearance, whether you like it or not, because if people like and hear what they get from you, they will be more faithful. That's a reality that
I understand.
no amount of wishing or whatever can change. So,
I completely get that.
how about if you take care of the sacred bundle thing first, and then, depending on how that turns out, we will schedule you to perform a sermon for the flock, and I'm sure some will find it and will attend out of sheer curiosity, and there are others that probably will believe wholeheartedly, and unfortunately there'll probably be a few that won't attend, but that's their loss.
We shall see, but I thank you. It will be my honor, and I've always appreciated your open-mindedness and acceptance of me.
Well, you know, I'm going to regret admitting this, but there was a time, and then he's like, you know what? I'm not going to admit it. I will see you all later.
Abbot Wakanda was much more dismissive.
Well,
And I thank you.
from what I understand, he was dismissed with,
In a horrible fashion.
with the same, well, yeah, probably overdone, but still. Anyway, all right, goodbye.
And I get up and leave.
I guess I'm
All
head
right.
with him back. He is a priest. It's with her.
Yep.
Yeah, so you guys all get up and walk out the door, and now you're outside there, and you can do or whatever you want to do.
Did you hear that? He's gonna let me do a sermon.
Oh my god.
Good night.
What?
Not waiting any longer.
Oh, Shadrach. I knew the time would come that we would have to part ways.
No.
We'll deal with that
You're
when the
coming.
time comes.
We need to know all this treasure. We need all these things. Moving in
What's
the
that? What treasure?
Anything we found on the way, we need to send it far away or move in the wrong direction and lead these fools the opposite way of whatever way we're traveling.
I can't see the treasure I've got.
I know that. But what about the coins we found in the corn maze? I'm sure they're connected to finance. We need to spend them or get them on their way and off our person.
Those funds are gonna build my temple.
Well, I'm gonna get them out of our hands soon.
You must leave soon.
I can't see mine anyways. Mine are in the back holding.
I must stay here.
No, you must go.
I cannot be a party to killing or healing that individual.
Come north.
Well, we kill the individual.
Come north, Finessa.
You don't have to be
Come
part
with
of it.
me. Come with me, Finessa. Leave.
I am going north. Eventually to Deepwater Fort.
Yes, leave this place now.
Maybe we can get some help your way.
We must leave this place now. Evil is coming here.
I am staying here.
Evil is
Shadrach.
coming here. I grab your hand and say, come with me. Why do you resist?
Why do you demand?
You wish to start your place? Come with me and I'll help you.
Maybe
I will.
Help you get from here, from that blithering idiot. He knows nothing.
I will gather my flock, and we shall go and create a new temple of the blend, a
Yes.
safe haven for slaves to come after you
Help you.
and the others have freed them.
This fool won't help you. He sits behind a desk and sips
The
his...
church will help me.
No,
He
they won't.
has told me who to speak to.
He lies.
This is not my path, Shadrach.
You know your
I
path.
love you.
You knew your path
I do.
before this, and now you deny it. That witch has tainted you. You knew your path before this.
You have rid me of her,
You said you would come
and you
with
should rid yourself of her as well.
me. You don't know. Ah!
Release your anger. Let it go and accept that things are different now.
Things aren't different. That's what you don't understand. They're the same.
I am called to the north.
I
I
am
will
called
first
to the north.
gather my flock. Come back to me, Shadrach. I will send you visions of the temple and its construction.
And I will send
And you can send me visions of your success. And we shall maintain
You will
our
be
bond.
betrayed. They will betray you.
The blend has always been there for me. And I was foolhardy to venture out into the unknown civilizations. I found only pain. And I will stay now.
You found the truth. And you deny it. My beloved. Don't you see? They're twisting you.
I would
They
like...
lie to you.
Pause.
They use you.
Pause. Pause. I would like Shadrach to make a charisma check, please.
Oh dear. $27.
27. And I would like Finessa to roll a D6.
A D6. 1.
Hey! Nice! Okay, so as this exchange of ideas heats up, and as far as I'm aware, Shadrach is grasping Finessa's arm.
Her hand.
A couple of people walk by, and they look, and you hear one of them go, "Oh!" And just then, with a 1, a couple of guards walk by, and they see this, and they say, "Is everything all right here, sister?"
Yes. Yes, friends. Thank you. And I embrace Shadrach, and I kind of smother him. Not
Sure.
deadly smothering. I embrace him and push his face to my breast and just
Yes.
enclose him.
Yes,
Calm
Shadrach.
down, Shadrach. Don't create a scene.
Yes, Shadrach.
I shape change.
Okay, into what?
A rattlesnake.
Okay. So,
You betrayed me!
Well, hold on now.
I shamed.
If you okay, so you betray me, and then he shape changes, and he kind of wiggles out of your grasp like a little kid. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And the guards, I need Shadrach to roll another charisma check, please, but this time at disadvantage.
All right. Uh-oh. Hang on.
Mike chose a squirrel.
My low.
No, he had to choose the most deadly he could think of.
What was your low roll?
23.
23, okay. The guards are like, hey, look out! What does the snake do?
Shush!
Just stays there?
I shake my rattle.
Okay, the guards slowly back away from it. Don't provoke it. Go ahead, Daryl.
Finessa will reach down and scoop up the snake.
Does the snake allow it?
The snake backed its head up, but doesn't strike.
Are you
I grab you.
trying to not? Are you trying to not be grabbed, or are you allowing it?
I allow her to grab me,
Okay.
but she knows that I can bite her.
Okay, so you go ahead, Daryl.
Stop it, she says. And as you wrap around her arm, she's holding your neck, letting your head free, not restraining you.
And just
Stop
for
it. She begins to walk away.
just for coolness' sake, what about this snake would give it away that it's Shadrach? What's the tiny little identifying thing about it where it's like, oh, that's when you change into the bird, you had we said there was something on your feather that looked like Shadrach. So
I have human eyes.
So it looks like the snake off of the jungle.
But only Finessa would see that I have human eyes.
well, no,
Looking right at it.
everyone would see you have human eyes.
I'm a tiny snake. I'm a small snake.
If they get close enough, they would see.
I mean, come on, man. Yeah, it's like, are we talking Kermit the Frog Snake, or are we talking fucking, Jib and Morty? What are we doing here? So,
Shad wraps around her wrist,
The jungle book.
keeps rattling, and he's looking right at her. And then, in her grasp, I will shape change back to a human and say, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
Let's
All right,
go to the grove.
so the guards are like, well, all right then, just try not to scare the locals, and they kind of walk off.
You're making a scene.
What we do is serious, Finessa. The future.
I
is
understand.
now.
So now you all have come out of the by the buildings there, and you make a right, and you're walking towards the gate that would take you out into the groves. And there you go. You walk out there.
If you must leave, then do so. If you feel drawn to the woods.
Egg must be protected.
It is. You've done that.
And you want to walk away with a bunch of peasants.
Now,
The
just
egg
for
is what they seek, and they will become stronger if they take it.
pause for a second. So just so we're clear here, Bart and Tykel are just kind of following along, watching their mom and dad have a fucking argument. So unless you wish to do or say anything else, then you're just kind of following along, watching these fucking.
Shaking my head and face palming every now and then.
All right, go ahead then. That's fine. I just wanted to make clear that you got these two fucking parents at Disney World, and then their fucking two kids are like holding balloons with their heads down. So anyway, go ahead.
Shad will turn on Bart and say, "You know, the egg. You know. You saw it.
You dwell on it too long. You read your mind. The fight is for you.
Mine? How dare you?"
Okay, I need Bart to roll a d6, please.
4.
Okay, so as you guys walk and you're kind of passing past the crafting area, apparently the ambient noise from the people shopping and people making things is drowning out the fucking Griswolds fighting over getting into the theme park. So
Speaking out loud, everybody's listening to it.
carry on. So eventually you make it out into the grove, and the trees are blooming, and tiny little cherries and all the little seeds and nuts are starting to form. And what's interesting is that when you look towards the northernmost part of the grove, there's these trees and things that are already bearing fruit ahead of time, almost as if someone had cast some kind of spell to cause nature to be bountiful or something. I don't know. So, go ahead. Yes, Jason.
That's the way Shadrach is trying to draw the group towards that direction.
Yeah, go ahead. So where do you guys end up then?
In the grove.
The corner of the grove.
I don't want to go too far.
Come
Okay,
with me.
so you stay on Abbey property basically, where it's clear cut.
Yeah, but in the grove.
Okay, that's fine.
Let me know when we reach the edge of the grove where my nest begins.
Well, now you went 200 feet into the forest to start that.
And I'm not trying to drag everybody that way, but I'm trying to just kind of pull the group towards that direction.
What is it?
Well, you've reached the edge of the tamed land, and you know that you would have to go 200 feet into the forest to reach your sanctuary. Yeah, so that's up for you to go ahead and...
All right. At the end of the grove, Chad will turn to the other people and say, "I'm sorry. I'm full of powerful emotions right now. It's hard for me to control them. But the egg is the key. If the egg is uncontrolled, if the egg is unprotected, everything will fall away. You know this, Bartholansis. You know. You've seen
You
it.
said you protected it. You put it in an illusionary forest.
I'm one man. What can I do but one man can do?
We have it hidden. Don't dwell on its location and they won't find it.
They already know where it is. I'm sure of it. The Akaramans have landed there more than once. That's all they have to do is send some soldiers in, and those
Obviously, you don't
humans
know.
will find it.
They won't see it. You buried it.
Perhaps. Do you think that they're ignorant? Do you think we've seen the power? They can cast spells as soon as we can.
True. I mean,
They
but
know
don't
what they're
say-
looking for. They know what they're looking for.
how long has it been there in the wide open?
But now they're searching for it actively. Before they were not. Now they are. Things have changed. The fort has been destroyed. I brought that down upon it. And now they know something is there.
All right, hold on. Go ahead, Michael.
Michael says, I kind of find it a little convenient. These giants are so afraid of a new dragon being born, and this gym is egg-shaped. Does that not strike you as funny?
Yes.
It is very coincidental.
So, we
I
either
hadn't thought of that.
You see.
dragon eggs.
You see. Bartolantis saw the beginnings of it. Now you begin to put the pieces together.
But
You must
first,
protect its egg. It must be protected. I can't protect it by myself for long. They know of me. They hate me. They seek my destruction.
the bundle's a potential Skyrim or vision so the witches can watch us, so let's take care of that first.
Finessa.
She needs to go make sure.
Destroy it.
Well, hold on. Go ahead, Brad.
Finessa supposedly taken care of that already. She needs to go make sure it's been taken care of.
Let's get it done.
No, nothing's been given to anyone yet.
I took the magic out of it. That's what's been done.
That's what I'm saying. She's supposedly trying to take care of it. Let's find out if it's up.
Right.
Or if we need to do something else to fucking make it an earth.
Then we need to go see Gaddy. Is this... Are you calm down, Shadrach? Can you be civil and not draw the guard's attention and create a scene? I know you're upset,
That is how
but you got to control yourself.
you'll be better.
These people don't understand. They don't care.
They don't know.
Abbott doesn't care.
They don't know.
He didn't even want to give you anybody to go with you, to help you. But
He's
I will.
given me a chance to recruit, to speak to the masses.
Shad will take Vanessa's hand and kiss it. I'm sorry. Let's go.
Okay.
I want to look at some of those books anyway.
All right, so where are you guys going?
Let's go see Gaddy,
All right,
the
so
Hyrule Monk.
you are...
I'm going to retire to my teacher hut. I have something to work on.
Do you need any assistance?
No, I'm good.
And
All right.
Shad will give Bart another dirty look and walk off with Vanessa.
Okay. Michael, are you going with Vanessa and Shadrach?
Yeah.
All right. So, you all head back, and you kind of take the way like you're going towards back to the Abbot's chambers, but there is a large building that is not on the map that I drew, but it's directly behind the temple, past the spice garden and all that. And that is where like the higher ups of the monastery stay in that building. And so you go in there and you seek out Gaddy, and he is in his quarters. At least you knock on the door and he answers the door, and Gaddy is a tall, somewhat thinning, brown-haired, older, very wise appearing man, clean shaven, with
Human?
his tonsured haircut, wearing some loose-fitting clothing with the symbols of the blend embroidered into the hems of his garments. He's got a long-sleeved, loose shirt buttoned up to the neck, sort of like flowing sleeves that have been rolled up to the elbow. He is not wearing like a robe or anything. He's got on some cloth or linen trousers and some plain leather shoes, very common for leisure time wear for the monks, except for the like the higher ups. The regular monks, they wear their monk's robe pretty much exclusively. And he notices Finessa and he says, "I was wondering when you were going to come by." He looks past you and sees the two other individuals there, and he says, Are they here for moral support, or what's?
Yes.
Do they need to come in?
That's up to you, Gatsby. Greetings. I've come to seek your counsel.
Oh, let me ask you again. Do they need to come in? If you are here to seek my counsel, do they need to come in?
Need, I guess, is relative. They wish to come in. They do not need to come in.
Do you want them to come in?
Yes.
Very well, then all may enter.
Thank you.
And he backs away from the door, and you can see that he has a scribe there sitting in this tattered cloth chair with some of the rivets that hold the upholstery having been either removed or worn off over time. You see a desk that is three-legged and is held up by some bricks. You see a small table with a wooden platter on it, and on the platter appears to be a pitcher and several wooden cups. On the left wall there appears to be the most books that you've ever seen in one place at one time. Probably at first glance maybe 40. And they all have this gold leaf, but they appear to be worn and very used. On the right side there appears to be several shelves with all sorts of containers and little jars and bowls and almost dead green plant that's there, and then a couple other sprigs of things that are growing up, and there appears to be some type of bird's skull that's up on a little shelf on the wall. He's got a window, but it's covered up with these little like a bunch of knickknacks that are all piled up into the windowsill. And he has one of the few rooms in this multi-person dwelling that has a window, and so that seems a shame that he's covered it up with knickknacks and old shit, and there's like rags, and there's by the door there's like a bunch of posts that are in a piece of wood for like hanging your coats or belts or bags or whatever, and you can see there's like several coats on there, and they all appear to be worn, and some of them are ragged, and one of them looks like it's been chewed on. It's like a leather brown that's creased and got a chunk out of it, and haphazardly thrown on his bed is his appear to be his formal vestments that you've seen him in once or twice. And then in the corner, in the front corner of the room, there appear to be several buckets with gauze and medicinal supplies of various kinds, as if he might be using them for some type of work that he might do in this particular place. And then finally you can see that there is a wood-burning stove, very small thing, in the back, against the back wall, and it appears to be not in use. There are several dirty pottery dishes on top of the stove. There appears to be a couple flies flying around, as if these may have had old food in them or whatever. And unfortunately there is a very slight acrid smell, as if he has not emptied the chamber pot today.
Yeah.
So he says, well, make yourselves comfortable wherever you want to sit down. He says, be careful of that chair over there. There's only one chair.
From your demeanor, it seems that you were expecting me. What have you seen?
Well, I'm not sure. There's something in the air.
Nice.
During my prayers this morning, the blend gave me several different feelings of spells that I should take, and I trust the blend and I trust my feelings. So I started casting my divinations, and I spun my helix to see what I could discover, and there's something big happening, and I'm not sure if it's coming from the capital or if it's coming from somewhere else. It's hard to describe. It's like there's a bunch of different thoughts coming from all over the place, and no one can agree on anything. And I heard that you had come back recently, and so I figured there was something to it. And I'm not...
Well,
go ahead.
I hoped that you could do your ceremonies to find out if there's any evil emanations remaining in my sacred bundle. I've transferred the energy and the magical mana from the bundle that belonged to my mother, but she was not a good person. She has done many bad things, and the bundle was tainted, and I pulled the magic from it and transferred it into my bundle. And I need to know if the evil was left in the original bundle and the old pure magic and the good magic has made it into mine. Is there something you can do that would give you insight to this?
Well, I mean, the obvious would be to detect evil. Have you tried that?
Well, I haven't done it myself on this object since I've done the Dwemer flow spell, and Abbot Patrick suggests that perhaps my personal connection created some bias in the reading, even though I feel that the blend flows pure. I hope that maybe an outside angle perspective could see more clearly.
Okay, and why you two here?
Well, I figured blend magic will help to protect you from whatever evil there might be.
This is Michael Hammerhand. He's a worshiper of Moradin.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
I see.
Shadrach Fellthorn,
I've
the
become-
druid of the wood,
He,
son of Skell.
he looks at you and he says, you're no druid. You're an initiate. Have you been lying to these people?
I know what I am. I've made no claim.
Well, how else would they call you a druid then?
They don't understand, and I don't blame them for that.
Oh, so you're saying that they're not smart enough to figure it out. That's fine. That's fine. It doesn't matter.
I've also
He's-
gained knowledge. I've come here perhaps to peruse some of your books, if I may. But if not, then I'm here to support Sister Finessa.
Well, let's one thing at a time there, initiate. So, let's see it.
And I produced both of the bundles. But this is the one I wear, and I would like to keep it on my person if that's possible.
So, I need as much information as possible for the spells to be able to focus on what answers we seek. So tell me, what was the point of you transferring the magical essence from your supposed mother's evil sacred bundle into yours, who, as far as I know, you are a good and worthwhile individual? Why? What was the point of that?
To enhance its magical abilities
And
and increase my knowledge.
the thought of introducing an element that came from an evil source that didn't enter into your decision?
Of course, it went through my mind, but I thought that the power of the blend and the magic flowing through me and my pure spirit would cleanse
Oh.
physical bundle and its manifestation holds the evil properties, the things that are in the bundle,
He says, I understand.
and the
that.
magical energy.
That's all right. It's all right, sister. You fell to the ancient cliche trap of hubris. That's fine. I don't judge you for it. It's just obviously what happened. You thought that you could do things because of the blend selecting you. You thought you were immune to bad things. That's fine. You're not the first one that's ever thought that. Though the blend encompasses many different faiths and many different ideas, there are some ideas that no matter how you try to redefine them, they do not conform to what your beliefs are. They conform to what they actually are. And one of them is good is different than evil. Okay? So when you introduce an evil thing and thinking that you're powerful enough or your abilities or your faith will just destroy that evil. That's what spells are for. That's where your faith grants you those spells, but it's not just faith that does it. You have to actually cast spell, which hence is why you came to me, because I have the faith like you. I, however, have the experience that you lack. So, first of all, congratulations on coming here. That's good. But I'm also hoping that you understand that just because what you want doesn't make it a thing or make it true.
I only know what I can see and feel.
Again, that does not change the facts of what you've done. And then he looks at you, Shadrach. Yes?
Shadrach says, we only mean good. Everything is endangered now. There is great danger, and we seek to undo that danger. Her ways are pure. I believe in her, and I'm not of your faith. I've seen the good that she can do. You should see it too.
Make a charisma check, please.
I rolled a 33, sir.
He says, that means nothing to me. You should just think about what's important here. Your feelings are immaterial. If it bothers you so much, you're free to go. No one's holding you here. Okay, so put that, first of all, so you didn't cast Detect Evil on it. Are you capable of that spell?
I am.
Try that first.
In the name of the blend, I produce my holy symbol. Show me if the evil remains or if the curse of Finessa has been removed. Then I cast Detect Evil.
I love you, Finessa.
Get around me.
Okay. Roll percentile, please. There.
$51.
All right. You focus on the sacred bundle of yours. Is that correct?
Yes.
As your senses begin to focus and drill down upon this item, you sense something that is obscuring, as if you were looking through a sheer curtain into a room filled with light. And you can make out what's in the room, but the details are rendered imperceptible. And you detect a faint degree of evil emanating from this object. And you also detect a degree of gloating. As
Of
if
what?
gloating.
Loading?
Gloating. As if
Oh.
someone or this object is experiencing a burst of being discovered and joy that it's discovered and joy that it's causing whatever reaction you're having.
And I say, damn it! It's doing it!
You also detect that the evil is somewhat hard to predict, unstable, some might say chaotic. And then, as if another curtain is pulled before your eyes, the details become one step removed, and you feel, just for a second, your cheeks start to turn red. But it's not a red of embarrassment or like seeing something that you like. It's a very specific feeling, as if something struck you in the face in a certain way that you may have recently felt, and you instinctively put your hand up and your hand feels as if the side of your face is warm, and then you keep the spell going and continue to turn and concentrate on other things. You have that option.
I glance around the room before I dispel.
It takes an action to stop and concentrate on something like you just did.
Okay.
For the spell to reveal if there's anything there.
Okay, I dropped the spell.
Okay.
Damn it!
I
The
need
evil lingers!
I need Pykel and Shadrach to both make perception checks, please. That's a D30, and you're going to add your intelligence. And I will call for the numbers. So we'll start with Pykel.
Ooh, 6 and 9, 69. Yeah, that's it.
What'd you get, Pykel?
A 69. Matching number.
That's not how that works. So we'll
No.
okay. We'll skip you, Shadrach.
38.
Okay. Both of you notice that when Finessa says, "Damn it," and she kind of throws her hands up in the air and turns, you notice that there appears to be, just for the briefest of moments, a handprint on the side of her face before it starts to fade. Go ahead.
Shadrach, the evil bundle is visible, right? It's right there, right?
one that I'm wearing is in my hand.
That's what I thought. I thought she had it in her hand. So.
Okay, Shadrach.
It's also on a cord around my neck.
Shadrach grabs her hand and says, "I told you, give it to me."
You know you can't.
I'm here to let Gaddy help us.
He won't help you. They won't help you.
We can all help.
Shadrach kind of withdraws.
Gaddy says, I take it by your reaction that you detected something?
Yes. The evil essence remains.
Tell me more specifics before you just try to move on to different things. And now is the time to use your brain, use your training, drill down on the specifics. What did you feel?
Mother laughed at me. She took pleasure in the fact that I'm frustrated and that her evil lingers.
That's pretty specific. Okay.
She wants to torture me. Her essence needs to be removed. Can you help? My friends and I can all lend our mana. If you need it, we can chant and do the combined chant while you cast whatever curative spell that you may know.
Well, this is a very unique thing. I'm going to have to pray on this.
I racked my mind for days trying to think of what I knew and remembering the ancient scriptures and the lessons of the blend, and nothing is clear to me.
First things first, can you cast the reverse of the spell that caused this to come into being? And
I can cast it. It would be the same spell, but I would have to draw the mana back out of my bundle and have a receptacle, the original bundle, to send it back to.
why would it have to go in the bundle? Could you make or fashion a different receptacle?
I could, yes. Maybe to trap the evil.
I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind. Gaddy turns and looks at Shadrach. Please put your arms down.
What is it, Shadrach?
You should have given it to me when I asked you before. I would have destroyed it.
You ain't got the power.
The destroy. We tried to burn it. I don't want to destroy the magical essence, just the evil.
Gaddy says you should prepare for any outcome. It is, without doing further spells, it's possible that this could all be the same. Like, you can't remove the evil. Like, the evil is so. As an example, there is a story of a necromancer who used a spell called Magic Jar, and it would take his soul and it would go into the jar, and then his soul could jump into other bodies. So if you were to try to take the evil off of this necromancer, you would be destroying the necromancer, because the necromancer is evil. So that's my first thought, is if you try to remove the evil of your mother, you're removing your mother. And your mother is the thing that's in there, apparently, according to what you just said. Or some type of
are connected.
essence or what have you. So second of all, the fact that if this really is your mother and her totemic item is the same as yours and you mix the two, it could be like trying to take the mud out of a bucket of water. You can let the bucket sit for a long time and eventually that mud will sink to the bottom, but you still got a bucket that's a muddy water. So this is all me just thinking off the top of my head.
I get where you're coming from, and that is a chance I'm going to have to take. If I revert back to a mindless beast, so be it.
Well, I mean, we don't want that either. I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen?
The bundle could be completely destroyed and forever tainted.
So, if it's tainted right now, what is it doing to you?
So far, I think it has veiled my magic, my mana flow from the blend.
Have you just cast the spell just now? Did you feel any
The vision wasn't clear. I could hear, but I couldn't. Excuse me.
It's shot.
He's allergic to something in the bundle.
I could hear things, and I could sense and feel things, but there was no clear sight. The visions I saw were shaded.
He gets up and walks over to the table with the stove with the little pottery dishes on it, and he takes one of the dishes and he smashes it on the metal frame of the stove, and then he takes one of the shards and he slices his hand. Ow! Ow! And it's like pretty deep, and he's like, try and heal me.
I will lay on hands. Let the blessings of the blend stop your bleeding.
You have already used that power today.
On who?
On Boris.
Oh, okay. I cast Cure Light Wounds.
All right.
Oh, shut up. Go ahead.
Roll a d8, please.
3.
All right. You see the. Let me roll Dinkus here for a shard of a plate. Okay, so he takes 3 points of damage, and you heal him for 3 points of damage, and the wound closes up, and he's like just kind of grinning and bearing it. He seems to be able to have a high tolerance for pain. And then as you cast the spell, he looks at his hand and he says, "Well, I feel fine. How was that?"
I didn't feel any interference.
So that leads me to believe that perhaps you may just have to live with whatever that is.
Brand.
The knowledge of my evil history.
For the time being.
That is my culture and heritage, I guess.
Don't lose faith, because not every solution comes early enough. As a matter of fact, there has never been a solution that has come early enough to actually avoid the problem. Otherwise, it would not have been a problem to begin with. But
I somehow trust your wisdom.
I have two thoughts on this. One, you could leave the bundle with me. However, you said something which kind of caught my attention, and I'm not so sure that's a good idea. Or you could wait until I have prayed on this, and then I will send for you. I make no timetable on it or whatever. Like I said, there's a lot of things apparently going on right now, and there are many paths for this to go. So,
I appreciate your insight and your help. And if you gain any wisdom from the blend during your prayers, when you do make a breakthrough, please send for me.
very good. Well,
And I prepare to leave. Good day. Thank you very much, and I will talk to you soon. I will be here at the monastery for the foreseeable future.
yes, Shadrach.
I want to quickly identify the plants that are in the room. I can do it at 3rd level. So
Okay.
whatever
There's
plants are growing in there, I can identify them.
there's a cherry tree sapling. There is a peach sapling that has seen better days. There's cilantro, cabbage, nettles, and ivy.
And they're not growing. Are they growing badly?
It's obvious they need to be outside.
I'll say quickly, may I take these plants with me? They're sickly.
He looks at you, no expression, and says, "Of course, Initiate. Do your worst."
I gather them and take them with me.
All right. And you all exit his chambers, and then we will move over to Brad. Brad, what's Bart doing?
I'm fabricating and engraving rings, so nothing major.
Oh, okay. I thought you were doing something else. Okay.
You know, I mean, I need time to do it, so I took the time to do it. I can only fabricate like 4 rings once, so it's gonna take me some time to do it. And I engrave and set gems in them all separate before I even start incantation, so that's gonna take time.
Okay. Very good. So,
I need to roll my jewelry ship or whatever. You do that.
no, you would roll it. Okay, so let's go back to the other 3 guys while you're getting situated. So what do the 3 of you want to do now? It is a few hours past midday, and you're hungry, and go ahead, Shadrach.
Unless, if you want to go first, Clark, if you got anything to say, go.
No, go ahead.
Shadrach will turn to Finessa and Michael and say, "I'm sorry. My emotions are burning within me. And there's so much that I feel right now. And I know, Finessa, you have so much that you feel. And I wish that I could help you more. But for now, you have I'm yours. Whatever you need from me, you shall have." I love you, Finessa. I will not betray you. Do not betray me. Michael, I've seen your loyalty and your faith. Together, we have great strength, and we can defeat this great evil. And I will stay with all of you. I will not leave alone. Alone I can't survive. Alone I cannot succeed. But together, we can defeat this great evil and see the future follow through to the truth. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my anger and my madness. You will not see it again.
Yeah, I'm sure. He says almost sarcastically.
Well, Shad will grab your hand and say, believe me, brother. I won't betray you. I'm sorry.
He pats his hand. I know that.
Finessa, my beloved, I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. These are dire times and epic events that are unfolding. Take this. And she hands you Finessa's Oz bundle. Do with it as you will.
Shad holds it in his hands and he says, no, I was mistaken. This is yours. This is your burden. But I will help you.
The magic is gone.
All I can do
It is only a vessel.
I would take it far away and throw it away and bury it. That's all I could do. My solution was simple, ephemeral, personal, and this is yours. But I support you. I can take this and destroy it to my satisfaction, but to yours, I don't know. And so I'll hand it back. I'm sorry.
And
I tried to destroy it and threw it in the fire, and it did not burn.
Fire is not enough. Fire can't destroy me, Finessa. And I'm merely flesh. This needs
She'll tuck it back in her bag.
keep it close to you because there's power within it still. Power that you can draw upon. I know this. Take that evil and turn it against itself.
I must also pray on that.
You know where to find me.
As you guys are standing outside and there is a sound that kind of freaks you out a little bit, and standing behind Shadrach is that young kid that was hanging out up by the edge of the forest at one time.
Hey, what's up, gentlemen?
And he looks at Shadrach, and then he looks at Sister Finessa, and he goes, excuse me, I'll take it.
Move along.
Oh,
He's like,
Where are you supposed to be, child?
he's like, oh, I could use a bag.
These are adult matters. Go find your parents.
I
what's your
need
name, boy?
Shadrach to roll a d10, please.
Oh dear. I rolled a 10, sir.
Okay. Something about this boy looks familiar. Like not familiar like the boy that was at the edge of the forest, but something else. And you notice that in his left hand, his pinky finger has a very long nail. Like, it's like long and starting to curl. That's how long it is.
I'm going to cast a spell. I start casting.
Now, if somebody else wants to do something, just get my attention. Otherwise, you're just kind of watching this.
You don't know to do anything?
Well, it's up to you to know to do something. I can only tell you what you see.
Alright, well, if I start casting, I will sagely ready my... I guess we didn't grab our weapons. I'll be prepared to react now.
Sure, you can prepare to react, but that's not specific enough. So, when whatever. I figure everyone's always prepared to react, and it's the dice that say whether you get to or not. So.
Anything else would be metagaming, so I don't know.
Shadrach holds his hand forward and then curls it in over the mistletoe in his hand, and he casts Detect Evil, whispering to himself, Mother of Skell, what do I behold now? Is this a source of evil? It takes 1 round to cast.
Okay, so you start casting a spell, verbal, somatical, and material. So you guys all see Shadrach casting a spell, and then the kid get this shit-eating grin on his face. And he says, as you're casting, he says, did you really need to cast a spell to know the answer? And he tries to pummel you. And he hits an armor class of -7.
Well, he hit me.
Your spell goes up in a poof, and the power of this kid is amazingly deceptive. You take 5 points of brawling damage, and make a strength check, please.
What in the blend is going on?
That's my strength plus 20.
Yes.
Oh dear. Come on, Shad. Oh, I got good strength. I'm not too weak. I rolled it as 20 total.
Okay, he got a 23. You are knocked down in the square, and the child then turns to Sister Finessa and says, "I'll have that now." And you notice his eyes turn black, and you get, and like the skin starts to like pull, drawn tight, and he goes, like reaches out, and I need actions. So let's start with Shadrach.
I'm casting.
And Pikel.
Casting.
And Finessa.
Parry.
All right, roll initiative, Finessa. Beat a 7.
A 9.
Oh no. Okay. So.
Dirty little dinkus.
Yep.
Oh no.
So he puts up. Well, let's see. On fast, he holds up his pinky, and now you guys see the weird, elongated, curved nail, like right out of the Guinness Book of World Records, like when it's curved around, and it extends straight out, and he points it at Finessa, and he goes, "You really should be more careful with what you're doing." And he like points the nail at you, and you need to save versus spells, please. And this is not anything with a magical defense. This is saving a spell like you would for getting out of the way.
I matched it, a 12.
Ooh, okay. You see the nail like straighten out and go towards you, and you juke out of the way as it goes right by your neck, like a weird, I don't know what you would call it, not a whip, but like some kind of extendo slash that goes. So I don't know. I don't even know what that would be called. I just wanted to be something weird and cool looking. So anyway, it misses, and he's like, "Oh darn it! You're so big and ugly. I should have been able to hit you easy." All right. So on the loser side of fast, anybody?
I go on 7.
A spell of 1 through 3 would be now.
All right. Let me see. I'll see if there's a material component, and there is not. It's just verse. And Pike will say, "Give me the strength and size of a bear, and let me maul its little wretch." And he casts polymorph self and becomes a brown bear.
Nice. That looks like a 4th level wizard spell.
That's on my list. I can only go by that. They're out of the books. They're not enough to know all the rules to them. It's in the priest handbook, so it's the 4th level.
Well, then let's look it up in the compendium so I can see what the deal is. Polymorph self. That is not it. That is book 3. That is not the right one. Polymorph self. That's a... Polymorph self. Okay. That has a verbal component, a casting time of 3. Awesome. Common for Oriental priests, otherwise very rare. Okay. So roll roll a religion check, but since this is an Oriental priest, you're making it -4.
Alright, 15 plus whatever my religion is, which I look up. I believe I do have it. 17, so 15 plus 17 is
32 -4 makes 28. That's still a success. So somewhere in your travels you encountered an Eastern individual, and you had one come in and buy some gems and ask you to craft some gem for him, and you got to talking, and he explained that he could some of the priests of his lands can change into any creature, from a small bird up to a great horse. You gain its form and movement, not any special attacks, magical abilities, and so on. So what that means is you're attacking as a bear. All right, so you change into a bear. Roar, and the kid's like, "Oh, aren't you fancy?" All right, who's next?
I go on 7.
You go.
Shadrach still knocked to the ground. I think you said I was knocked down.
I did.
Shadrach is on the ground. He kind of props himself up, holds his hand forth, gripping his mistletoe, and crunches it in his hands. His eyes turn blue. I cast Thunderstroke as the spell.
That sounds dirty. Oh.
D4 plus 2 times my level, so 18 points plus my level. Gets a saving throw versus spell to have it. But what you see is, as my eyes turn blue, I open my mouth and say, "Father of Thunder!" And a lightning bolt goes out of my mouth right into the child. Boom!
Well, that sure sounds cool. Let's see if it works. It's called Thunderstroke. Okay.
Old Empire, level 4.
Okay. So if you have religion, you need to make a religion check, and this is a
I also
forgotten.
have spellcraft.
This is that won't help you.
Okay.
And this is a Forgotten Realm spell, so you just make it at normal chances.
All right, let me check my religion real quick. My religion is pretty good, actually. All right. Yeah. Oh, my religion is excellent. All right. 33.
All right, you were able to cast the spell.
So it's a D4 plus 18. 20 points as a lightning rips out of my mouth right into his face. Ah!
All right, he has to roll a saving throw. But before I look at that, he has to roll percentile.
Oh no!
Okay. You cast the spell, and you say what you say, and the lightning bolt shoots up from the ground where you're laying, and right as it gets ready to hit him, you see it just kind of, and it kind of splinters off, and like a little light show of little sparks, it flies off in every direction, and he looks at you and he goes, with his little weird fucking pinky nail. All right. And that is the end. There are people now that are starting to yell because of the commotion. And, whoa, what's going on? Oh my gosh, call the guard, quick! And the entity looks around, and at the end of the round, he's like, screw you guys! And he takes off running towards the forest, allowing any of you to take an attack of opportunity if you would like.
Okay, can I go there?
Huh.
Yeah, the bear would get one attack of opportunity on it, so roll an attack. Using your melee thaco on the left of your sheet.
Alright. Alright, 16. I guess I had a 0. I think I'm still 6.
That's a hit. Let me look up bear. Might be under something else. Nope, there it is, bear. Okay. So you are going to roll a... What was the size you could get to? A horse?
Yeah, a large horse. So,
Okay. Roll a d6.
5.
Alright, you slash him for 5 points of damage. Roll a d8.
6.
Okay. So, no chance of knockdown, but you do slash him, and he's like, ow, you fucker! And yes, Shadrach has his hand up.
I just want to know how far he can move in one round.
He can move, looks like he gets about at least 30 feet away.
I'm casting.
Okay. Anybody else?
I can still take my movement to chase him. Finesse?
Nothing here. Shaking my head. No, nothing for me.
Brad's got his hand up.
What is it going on at? Outside the secure shelter, or are they in the courtyard or something?
It's happening to the north of the temple.
And I was just outside of Shad's little sanctuary thing.
I nest.
That I remember you putting up your shelter there, right inside the tree line in the woods, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. So yeah.
Is that where it's going on?
Well,
I say, can I hear it? Huh?
roll a d20. Let's see.
9, no.
9? Okay, no, unfortunately not.
I'm telling you. Okay.
All right. So, the bear takes off after the weird fucking kid with the weird finger. Okay. Next round. Action. Shadrach's casting a spell. Okay. Michael. Michael, action. Anything? All right. Finessa, anything from you?
Parlay.
All right. Finessa, oh wait, you rolled initiative last time. Shadrach, roll initiative. Be a 6. A 2. All right. Anybody on fast?
My spell is speed 4.
That's average. Finessa, you wish to say something? Go ahead.
Is that the kid from the Vision? Who is that? What the fuck?
The DM will tell you that this kid does not look anything like the kid from Bart's Illusion. All right. Michael, do you have an action?
I'm just gonna chase him.
You did chase him. Now it's the
All right.
next round.
I attacked, I guess. Or I wanted to bear hug him the first time, but
Well, you only get a single attack with a attack of opportunity.
okay. Well, my action's bear hug.
To do a bear hug, you have to hit with both paws.
He already took his attack of opportunity, didn't he? This
Yes.
the next round?
Yeah, that was last round. Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. But he chased after the kid and.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Oh, wait, here it is. If a black bear scores a paw hit with an 18 or better, it also hugs. Okay. For additional damage. Now, if you're wanting to wrestle as a bear, that's something completely different.
I guess I'll try to wrestle him.
Okay. All right. So, being a large creature, you go on average. So this guy goes first. And he is going to move as fast as he can. Performing a strength check, makes it with ease. But you can take an attack of opportunity on him if you'd like.
Alright. 15, so I hit a 1.
A 1. Okay, so you swipe and the claws like touch him, but they do not gain purchase. You just barely missed. And he books off, and he is, for this phase, he is 18 squares away. That is 90 feet. So, now it is average. And the spell goes off on average.
Shadrach takes it to one knee and raises up, holding his hands, and he's like, "Spirits of the forest, grasp this evildoer and hold him fast." And I cast Entangle. If he doesn't save, he still can only move 10 feet per round.
Okay.
I cast it in front of Pikel so it doesn't catch him in the edge. But it's like as the boy reaches the edge of the grove, the trees reach down to grab him.
All right.
How would you feel? So I'm trying to pick your up.
Okay. As you cast the spell, you see the weeds and bushes and trees that are there start. They don't grow and they don't pull themselves out of the ground, but they move in a way to try to entangle and grapple with this entity. As they start to come within contact of him, they turn and can't move any further, and they don't come into contact with him as some type of thing is emanating off of it and keeping him shielded from the magical emanations of your spell.
Damn it, again, being free.
Cat roars. Ah!
Okay. And then Pikel, you can move if you'd like to try to catch up to this guy.
You have to try, but I'm pretty sure I can keep caught in this damn spell.
All right, so if he's 18 squares away, you have a movement of 12, the same as a person. So you can you can double your speed without making a strength check, or you can triple it by making a strength check, or you can try to go faster than that by making a strength check with a negative.
Well, a double fine if he's only 18 away, right?
Well, you move half your movement per phase. So if your movement is normally 12 and you double it as 24, so you'll move 12 squares this phase.
Well, I'll try the strength check thing up there.
All right, go ahead.
All right, 19 do it?
A 19 total?
Yeah, well, no, 19. I don't know if my strength is apparent.
Yes. So you are able to keep up with him, but you don't get to attack.
I figured.
All right. And then the next phase, he continues on, and you can take an attack of opportunity if you'd like.
Not at all. 8, so.
All right, you missed. You just hit the air there, and then you can continue to move if you'd like to keep up with them or try.
I can try.
Okay. No, that's not what I want. Okay, you need to make a saving throw versus spells.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, you made a successful saving throw, but your speed is reduced to 2 squares per round.
Alright.
As you are
I'm sorry.
grasped and held with these vines that have seemingly like come back into the area where this entity had moved through, and though you're like able to like pull through and it's not able to grapple you, it's just the effort and the rough terrain has reduced your speed by a tremendous amount. And that is the end of that round, and the creature is now into the forest. If you would like to do something else, you may. So anyone want to try anything else, or are you giving up? Anyone?
Hang on.
Michael, anything from you? You're kind of stuck there.
Yeah, so I can only move 2 squares around.
That's what the spell says.
Shit.
Alright,
If you were a gargantuan or super strong, you might be able to just like burst through, but I don't think a brown bear would qualify for that particular condition.
Yeah, you have to be like a giant or something.
Alright, I guess I will stop trying to chase him. I can't chase
I
him.
was not trying to slow you down, Michael. That was not my intention.
So, Shadrach, when it is your turn again, you can drop the spell as a free jam. It does not take your action to cancel your own magic. It's just a thing.
Okay.
But you have to wait until your turn. Like, you can't do it out of turn. So that's why.
No, I know.
That's why Pikel was stuck. Okay. Shadrach, anything?
I'm casting.
Okay, just go ahead. There's no combat here, so what are you casting?
Is he still within 80 yards of me?
Let me do the math here. He is exactly, according to my calculations, at 80 yards. That's amazing.
Okay. Chad will again, this time, pulling dirt and grass from the earth. Mother Skell, stop this evil! And I cast Entangle again.
Okay, we'll have to roll initiative for this because it's possible that he can get 2 feet away and be out of the spell range. So, roll initiative. Roll initiative, Shadrach. Beat a 2.
Oh no!
Simultaneous monkey?
I rolled a 1!
Oh, okay, your side is sped up. Alright, so you cast your spell just at the edge of your vision where it's like he's just getting ready to duck behind a tree or something. And you say, you know, that sound of the forest moving.
And the tree reaches
your
down.
senses. And we do this. And we do this. Ooh, look at that. All right. You, a tree kind of reaches down and gets a hold of him, and he wiggles out, and he runs, and he moves out of your sight. And then you hear something go, and you turn and look, and you see that there is a weeping willow that has pulled its creature up off the ground, and it appears to be entangled and grappled.
I move at the end of the round towards it. If I may.
Yes, you may. Make a save versus spells, please.
Green light.
Oh dear. Uh-oh. Oh, I made it by 2.
Okay, you can move 2 squares around once you enter the first entangled area.
Okay.
I hurt him a little bit.
So, like a few feet up ahead, you see the bear, and he's like pulling at things and trying to move, and he's moving it 2 squares around. And that's the end of the round. And now we go next. Actions.
Change back to
Come back.
Anybody?
Yeah, I'm saying the second ring.
Casting. No, I'm shape changing.
You gonna drop this spell or what?
Okay, Finessa, you're watching these dunderheads run into the
Ah,
into the.
I'm changing back to boy.
I'm scratching my head. I'm thinking, what is going on with this kid? I gotta do something about this stupid bundle.
What time is it?
I'm gonna head to the crafting area.
Okay.
What?
All right. So, Shadrach's casting a spell.
I'm gonna drop the first entangle.
Okay. Anything
I
else?
see that I have to do that now. I'm gonna drop the first entangle.
Okay. And what's your action?
To move towards the boy.
Okay.
Full speed.
Michael, do you have an action?
I'm changing. I guess my action after you change back to human. Unless it's a drop the spell kind of situation.
You're not entangled anymore, bear.
Well, I can't attack it because he's entangled. Or not as a bear.
But he's entangled and he can't move.
Yeah. So change it back to
But if he's attacked, he's released.
No. He's entangled.
I guess I'm remembering the spell.
Clark, do you have an action or not?
I'm changing to a dwarf. I don't know if that's my action or.
Maybe I'm thinking a whole person. Something like that. Or charm.
Entangled, he's entangled in the junk and he can still be zapped. So, your whole person's different if you attack them when they're held.
That's
That's
right.
the-
I remember we were able to dispatch people that were entangled because they're
Yeah.
considered entangled. Coup de grace.
They are entwined the creature, holding them fast for the duration of the spell. 1 turn. So right now he is held fast. Or it is held fast.
Okay, so Clark, on the changing, you can change and you can move, or you can change and do some other action,
Alright, Cassie then.
which would be, you can say your action is to move, so if you wanted, but your action is to cast a spell. Okay, well, you start casting at the beginning of the round, so you can't cast a spell after you change.
Oh, that's why that. I'll just cast it. I'll move within the outside the area of effect.
Alright, so roll initiative, Michael.
If I drop the spell, I can't cast anything.
3.
No, you can. Casting the spell is like changing weapons by dropping one and drawing another.
Okay.
What'd you get?
3.
All right. So, on fast. Shadrach, what's the spell you're casting?
Wind Lash. It's a casting time of 5.
All right. So you drop the spell with the entangle on the first
The
one.
first entangle, not the second entangle.
And then Clark, you're Pykle, you're Bear, you're free, and you start to move where?
I will move to the edge of the affected area. Close enough to attack, but not enough to get stuck.
All right, so if you want to run up there, you can get close, but you won't be able to attack this round.
That's fine.
It's too far away. All right. Make a strength check.
Ah, 20. Let's explode. 23.
All right.
14. A
Okay.
lot.
So you move half the way there, and then the spell goes off. What's the spell?
Oh, my spell?
No. Shadrach.
Okay.
Wind Lash.
Okay, you cast Wind Lash, and the invisible force forms, and you have it at your command. And then
You said it was a slow weapon, so it goes on 8 as a weapon.
correct.
Next round.
Clark, Pykle moves all the way up and sees that the entangled creature. Make a perception check, please.
No.
10 plus 18, 28.
You rolled a 10 on a d30?
Oh, well, you always do checks 2 different ways.
Yeah, perception's always a 30. I forget that.
A 5 and a 3. 5 on the 6, 3 on the 10.
Okay. You notice that when you get up there, the creature is not there. The entangled space that was holding it is now limp and empty. And you see a blue lizard running through the forest.
All right. Am I gonna make the 2 and 2 that he's a blue lizard?
Yes.
All right. God damn it. He keeps checking the blue lizard.
All right.
Cast? I mean, is this another round?
Not yet.
All right. I'm chasing the blue lizard.
All right. Shadrach,
That's what she said.
you can take a half move at the end of the round if you want to try to get closer.
I see nothing to attack. Is that what you're saying?
How far away? What's the range on your Windlash?
All right, let me check this real quick. I'm pretty sure it's going to be probably the same range as the Entangle or close to it. Hang on. All right. Not that. Damn it. Hang on. I got 3 different books I'm looking at here.
Hang on.
I got it. Hang on. I got it. Oh, good Lord have mercy.
5 yards per level.
So, 45 yards.
So, you would not be able to attack from where you are, you would have to take your half move and you still wouldn't be close enough.
I'll still move towards the area,
All right.
cursing loudly.
All right, make a perception check, please.
28.
All right. The target seems to not be where you thought it was.
Ah!
But then you see Pikel Bear up there looking at something.
I'll move towards Pike at the end of the turn.
All right, Pikel, are you going to chase this blue lizard off into the forest?
You're not going to chase the blue lizard. I said, get that blue lizard and chase after him.
Okay, we're going to have to go to Finessa. Finessa goes to the crafting area. What's going on there?
I'm going to see if the potter will sell me some clay and allow me to use their area.
Okay.
So you can, it can take as long as that needs to take.
Make me a charisma check, but with advantage.
21 is the better roll.
All right. Yeah, they seem agreeable, but they're like, well, tell us what you want. We can probably make it.
Well, this is something that I need to make. It's a custom jar, and I want to make it to resemble something that a memory, and I can craft it more easily than I can express it to you.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
I know my way around the kiln and the wheel and with all the tools. I'm skilled.
Okay. Go ahead. What?
She's going to spend all day, 8 hours
Okay.
of crafting. But before I start, I'm going to cast Blessed Craftsmanship using my holy symbol.
So hold on now. So as you're getting prepared to do this thing, you overhear the mom say, "Well, I guess I'll go down to the stream and get more clay." And the husband's like, "Yeah, okay, just consider a donation, honey." And she's like, "Donation doesn't feed, but whatever." And she walks off in a huff with 2 buckets. So go ahead.
I gather the tools and the materials. I use my holy symbol in my hand, and I pray as I run my hand across each item, each tool. Let the blend guide my hand to craft the finest sculpture that I've ever made. And she cast, I just said it, Blessed Craftsmanship.
And what does that do?
That gives a bonus to my non-weapon proficiency roll on an artisan ability, which in this case will be sculpting. It gives me a +3 in effect to the roll, if I read that correctly.
Okay. So reaching out with the blend, you draw upon the mana of an intelligence or a
Dwarven
wisdom.
gods.
And
I call
so
upon Moradin.
I need you to roll a religion proficiency check, please.
Oh, that is 39.
All right. All right, and you spend the rest of the day and into the night working on this creation. And whenever the sun is setting and you're on your 6th hour of work and you know you still have 2 hours to go, they close up the shop and you overhear the woman say, "Well, I hope she can see in the dark." And the man's like, just be quiet. And he proceeds to light a couple lamps and set them out in the work area for you. Before he says, "Well,
Thank you.
we're turning in. If you could let us know when you're done, that would be great." And now we go back to them chasing the thing in the forest. So Michael, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna try to do? You're gonna attack?
Yeah, I'm casting.
You're gonna cast a spell
Yeah.
as a bear?
No, I already changed Spectral Force, remember?
You know, I guess I didn't understand what you were saying. No, I don't remember. So, I guess you changed back, and there you are. So you're gonna cast a spell. Okay.
Yeah.
Shadrach, anything from you?
I'm casting.
Roll initiative, Shadrach. Need a 6.
I rolled a 6.
Oh, yeah, that's always good.
Uh-oh.
Monkey!
Where
Drinking a
is...
monkey in a long time.
Roll a d20, Shadrach.
'20!
Okay, this happens to you guys. Roll another 20.
No! 15.
Okay, I need both of you to roll d20s.
That's 20. 14.
16.
Okay, this happens to Shadrach.
Oh, man.
Shadrach, you need to roll a saving throw versus paralyzation, please.
Oh, God. All right. Oh, I made it by 3.
All right. As you're casting your spell, your footing slips and it almost ruins your spell, but you manage to keep your balance and position, and that is great. Okay. So, on very fast, the lizard keeps moving. And then on fast, it keeps moving. And now it is, what is the casting time of your spells?
A whole round.
6.
Alright. On 6, Michael, your spell goes off.
Alright, you would say, God, Mathar. Strike out at my quarry and stop him in his tracks. And he casts Mamathar's Thunderbolt. And the range is 40 plus 10 yards per level. Let's aim.
All right, make me a perception check, please. This lizard running through a forest, and it's moving, and at any moment you could lose sight of it.
$31. Yeah, and 20 or D6? 10.
A D30 plus your intelligence, please.
Alright, 3 plus 6. So that is whatever that is. I forgot how the math works.
16.
Oh, so 16 plus 18? That's big.
All right, you get a peek at this lizard. And what's the name of the spell?
Mammothor's Thunderbolts. Does saving throw, but does 1d8 plus 3d6 with saving throw for half.
Mammothor.
Gotta love a thunderbolt.
How do you spell it?
Going full Zeus on him.
What's the spell that, is it Marthammers?
And so it's, I can't read.
Okay.
Martha Moore.
Martha Moore's.
Each
I work with
thunderbolt.
Martha Moore.
Marble Mouth.
Okay. Saving throw special. And are you attempting to cause damage or cure damage?
Cause damage? The cure damage? I don't know.
That's awesome. I want Martha Moore's thunderbolt. I can cure people with it. Oh, bam! Be healed!
Oh, okay. So you notice this little blue lizard going through the forest, and you cast your spell. Out of each hand flies this blue electrical looking power. And right as it's about to strike the blue creature, they in sparks, and the spells are dissipated as if blocked by some type of resistance to magic. And the blue creature keeps on chugging. All right. And now your spell goes off, Shadrach.
I cast Call Animal or Bird. It is a first level spell. All creatures, I'm calling birds. In fact, I call out, it says any tiny creature, which would be birds of tiny size, within 120 yards. It takes 1 to 4 rounds for them to gather, and then it will last for, let me see here. Let's see. So it's 3d6 creatures from a half of 1/4 hit die or less, or 2d6 creatures of 1/2 hit die or less. Let's see. It takes 1 to 4 rounds for them to gather, and the spell lasts for 3 rounds plus 1 round per caster level, so that will be 12 rounds. I will summon as many birds as I can to come to me. They will be affected as charm animal, and I will tell them to seek out and loudly proclaim any unnatural creature in the forest. You know, like a mockingbird, you know, barking at a squirrel or a cat. So if they see something unnatural, they'll make a noise, and I can kind of like zoom in on that noise for 12 rounds.
All right. So a few small birds show up, and that's where this round ends. All right.
I'm gonna say goodnight, fellas.
Michael knows when he's chasing.
All right, Daryl. Be cool.
Good times. Good seeing you.
Love you, man. Take care.
Good night.
Yeah, it's about that time, isn't it? All right. So
So basically Shad calls the birds to You know how a bird would tell you where a cat was or something like that is?
Yes.
That's what Shad does.
Okay.
I go check his hand and see if that he still has blood on it.
Pikel will inspect his hand to see if there's blood on it.
Yeah.
Did the bear strike the boy?
Roll.
Yeah.
Roll a. Roll a D. Roll a luck check. That's on a D30.
4 on my 6. 8 and 7 on my 8.
So 17 plus your level is what?
.5.
All right. No. Apparently, when you struck the creature, it struck him and tore into him, but it wasn't enough for a gout of blood to get into your flesh.
Alright, that's just thought that was important to check for.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Yep, that's it. The birds are gonna try to tell me where this creature is, if they can.
Okay. That is 9 o'clock. So we will end with this. The birds come down and they gather and they're all balking and everything. And then they all go silent. And for a brief moment, you look and you see walking through the forest anywhere between 6 to 10 women dressed in thin, yellow, dirty linen dresses. And they look out at you briefly before they disappear back into the forest. And Pikel, you haven't seen these before, but Shadrach has. If he remembers or not, that's up to him. And you can see that Shadrach is having a bad reaction to.
Shadrach is silently screaming.
And we shall stop there. So you guys can talk about that in the thread if you want.
Oh, here comes Brad.
Brad, just in time to say good night.
Good night.
And we'll catch you next time.
I'll chat with you in a minute, Brad.
Yeah, if there's anything you want to, if there's anything that you're thinking or wanting to say, just put it in the thread there on Messenger, and I'll catch up to it at some point.
Bye.
Okay. Good night, everybody. Thank you for playing.
Excellent. Excellent.
All right. All right.